it's a great pleasure to be here and to invite everybody because it's our first physical meeting for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to all the nice discussions that we used to have with these meetings. And this is also for the International Consortium for Fibrous Dysplasia and McCune-Albright Syndrome. So who are we? We are a group of people who first started in Oxford for a meeting where mainly clinicians at that time point gathered together. I'm sorry, Kasim, I don't have photos from the Oxford meeting. I should collect them for next time. And then it was followed by a meeting in Lyon, traveling to Leiden. Then you already see there was a bit more time there. We had an International Patients Day also in Lyon and repeated that in Leiden. And then the meeting was held in Florence. And after Florence, of course, there was a problem with the COVID pandemic. So we switched on to an online meeting in July 2022. Which in the end led to the initiation, of course, of the consortium. And this is our official first live meeting. And what I think is very special about the consortium and also about the discussions that we had in the past is that patients were always part of the meetings. So there were patients present in the first meetings in Oxford. There were patients in Lyon. We had the International Patient Day, also including with the patients throughout the whole meeting in Leiden, and that repeated itself the whole time. And I think this year it's another great example on how you can integrate the medical care and also the patient advocacy within the meetings. And I think sometimes we do not appreciate the fact that how special this is for fibrous dysplasia McCune-Albright, because there aren't many other diseases where this goes hand in hand like this. So what are the purposes of the consortium and also about these meetings? Of course, we want to come together. There's a lot of distance, of course, between the different research groups and the different clinical groups. But most forwardly, we want to work together. So one of the things that we have been discussing during the meetings are updates, of course, on ongoing clinical trials, but also trials somebody would like to design so that we can help each other out and don't let people make the same mistakes as you might have been doing in the past, because FDMAS is much too rare to have your trial being spoiled by things that other researchers already know. We have been discussing, has been a major part, the clinical pathway. So in 2019, we had a consortium produced a clinical pathway with the first set of guidelines on FDMAS. And I think it's a really important paper. It's highly cited, and it also comes along with the patient guide, which is also freely available, as Martina yesterday pointed out, online and also available in multiple translations. After the first meetings, we had a kickoff group who was responsible for writing the charter for the International Consortium. That also took some time because, as you can see here, it was a very diverse group with a lot of countries involved, which never makes it more easy to get a mutual, especially legal base to set everything. But with the help of FDS UK, it was possible to register the consortium. So now we're officially a consortium. This is our first year, and we need to proceed in the future for this. So shortly about our missions, you can also read it, of course, on our website, but mainly it's everything that we said. We are a multi-stakeholder consortium. We encourage research, but we also encourage education, and we would like to encourage, of course, the collaborations between the different centers. We're still an evolving consortium, so we're always open for suggestions. So this is basically what we want to do. And our main thing is that we want to be a contact platform for clinicians, for scientists, but also for patients. We, of course, have a website. That's something that we've been building a lot lately. And we have the LinkedIn page. And, of course, the live meetings are an important part of the consortium. So these are the people who work as we call it the board of directors. So for the first time, you can see it's an alliance between the patient associations from the Netherlands and from the US, and then the clinicians from the Netherlands and from the US. So we will be doing this for 2 more years, and then somebody else needs to fill these shoes. So volunteers can already come forward to me, so we will tell you everything that you need to do. And this has been a very pleasant group to work with. So what is the additive value for patients, for doctors, and for researchers? Of course, these International Patient Days, these are steals from the first day, also with the patient consultations, is that I think what you see here, happening here, is I think the most important part for the consortium is that at one table you can find a pediatric endocrinologist, an adult endocrinologist, an orthopedic surgeon, an ophthalmologist, a rheumatologist. So everybody involved in the care of these people is there to advise, but also to collaborate and to think about different topics. What has been achieved? So this is the example from the guideline that has been achieved. And also the patient guide, which is freely available from the website. That's, I think, one of the most important clinical achievements of the consortium. For patient advocacy, I think it's a big shout out to the patient groups. They've been very, very active. I think from that point of view, we can really see an example in the patients' associations, because when we first started, it was a smaller group. And in the last couple of years, I think multiple groups have emerged. And they have been very active. The Spanish Association produced a book, a gift called Mateo, which is available in multiple languages and also on Amazon.com. This year we have the special leaflet for the children, which is the one with the big bone on it. The Dutch Society produced an animation movie explaining what fibrous dysplasia is, but made sure that it could be translated with a voiceover in different languages as well. There's the Global Awareness Week, so there are really a lot of things going on, and the patients have been seeing each other for every month since the initiation of the consortium. So I think that is also very special. And that also led to a presentation of priorities in patient care, which they developed and presented on the online meeting. So I think this is one of the most driving forces in the past time. So for research, because the talk was supposed to be the state of the art for FDMAS research, with some extra explaining for the folks who haven't come here for the first time. So what has been achieved so far? Like I said, we had more collaborations since the initiation of the consortium. There are clinical papers where cohorts of patients were combined. So we had clinical papers in 2017 on the breast cancer together in collaboration with Leiden with the NIH. There was a collaboration between the NIH, Leiden and Lyon on Muscle syndrome, which is also extremely rare, and therefore collaboration is very important because otherwise we will just simply not have enough patients to have a closer look at what's happening there. There are collaborative papers about fractures, about pain between Oxford and the NIH, and the patient associations also have defined their path of interest. We've had open discussions. I hope we will have open discussions this afternoon, because we will have and I'm very glad to see it's a very big part of the program today is dedicated to basic research and the different models that have been designed for fibrous dysplasia. And I think those models are very good to look at the development and the etiology for fibrous dysplasia. And now is also the time to see how we can use those models to proceed into a cure for the disease. Also, the consortium has made it possible that we could also openly discuss clinical protocols, which is, I think, also very special. Sounds perhaps a bit strange for me emphasizing that, but usually in research people are quite wary of sharing things, because once you've shared something, you don't know if you will be still will be the first to make that study run. I think for the clinical protocols, our interests are that well divided that I found it very special that I was able to discuss my protocols in the 2017 meeting and again in a separate meeting with Alison, just to make sure that we will do a study in fibrous dysplasia which will really mean something to the community. So I think that is also a very great achievement. So it is way too small, but it's just to show you that the consortium has been active in putting out papers. So there are different reviews, different studies on the topics that I just mentioned. So there is a lot of effort being put in having a closer look on how patients will respond to treatment, what risk factors are there for fractures, what makes a lesion to progress or not. And also a lot of emphasis lately on the managing of pain and the multidisciplinary care pathways. So in the past years, what did we do? So we made up the website, which I can tell you is a lot of work. We have a LinkedIn page. Of course, we have the logo, the formats, we organized the meeting. We have set the legal base for the consortium. And now it's time to look at the future. So what will we do? We have to define membership of the consortium in some sort of way this year. We have to continue to engage with the community worldwide. Because although we have grown a lot, and I think especially on the patient associations, there are a lot of extra countries who came in, we're still missing a lot of countries. So I think that is something that we need to take into account and try to proceed further. Of course, we would like to encourage future collaborations. There must be a new meeting, so there's also something to already start on with this morning. So I will be circulating around all the consortium members to see who would like to put up for the meeting for 2025. We will give you some guidance, but the organizing committee also has to do something. And we also need an annual meeting, and that will be planned online for February 2024, because then the consortium is officially was founded. I wish you all a very, very pleasant day. I deliberately shortened my time to the talk so that we can have a lot of discussions later on, because I do realize that everybody put in a lot of effort in making presentations. So it's better to have some extra time rather than to continue. So enjoy the day.